Hey, this is Adam Mitchell, and you're listening to the Shout It Out Loudcast with Tom and Zeus. Rock on.
Oh, boy. Here we go. This is Gene Simmons.
Put that cookie down.
Kiss.
I'm pressing the button.
Stockbroker Simmons.
Star?
Paul Stanley.
Is that what he does? Stop shouting.
My name is Ace Frehley.
He's not what you would call a handsome man.
Oh, no. Here come the kiss times. Is that a positive thing? Okay.
All right.
I'm going to grab me an ice cold mellow yellow.
Why? Why do that to the fans?
Stop it. Why? Because fuck them. That's what are you talking about? 617-525-0850. You do? Hey, fucko. Do you like Kiss? Settle down.
Hello. Hey, what's up there, Kiss Army? Tom and Zeus, another episode of Shout It Out Loudcast. Episode 172, Paul Stanley versus Radio Chick.
The radio chick.
Paul Stanley.
The radio chick does not ask him that question.
Paul Stanley. Have you ever seen him?
Yeah. Well, this is another deep dive episode that you're only going to get when you listen to us, right?
Yeah, we like to break down and dissect like the great Ted Sarandis used to do on WEEI radio, Sports Talk Radio.
Nobody has to dodge debris on this show, though, so you're safe.
Jordan Koran.
We like to pick up these interviews, these clips that are pretty relatively unknown by most people, and let you guys hear them, kind of make your decision, and then of course hear our criticism, commentary on them. And this one's no different. This will be a fun one.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Again, as usual, me and Tom say, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We don't discuss our feedback.
Not at all, ever.
So We're gonna hear what each other thinks about it, as you guys are.
Exactly.
But before we go forward, we go backwards. Last week, it seems like 2 weeks ago, because it was so long ago, we did an episode with Chris Jericho and PJ Farley, and we recapped our March Madness, the end of the road Madness tournament with those guys, and what was a fucking unbelievable fun night with those guys.
Yep.
And we did a poll based on that. Tom, what was the poll?
Yeah, so we took the runners up in the final four. So Come On and Love Me lost to I Stole Your Love in the championship, and the other two songs in the final four were King of the Nighttime World and Creatures of the Night. So we figured, all right, let's match those two up and see what would have happened there. And King of the Nighttime World won. And yeah, it still pisses me off that Creatures of the Night even advanced that far, but people love that. It's Makeup Kiss. It was a little bit closer than I thought. King of the Nighttime World won 57-43. It should be about 97-3 on that matchup, if you want my opinion. But yeah, a lot of people loving the Creatures song. I was surprised it got that kind of feedback, but yeah, and just some episode feedback. You guys love that episode, and we had an unbelievable time. Great time with that. One of the common comments that we got about that episode that we were really happy that you guys picked up on was that, a lot of you guys said, hey, I love these kind of episodes where you guys are just kind of shooting the shit, sitting around, just guys talking about Kiss. And I said the same thing, talking about the band we love, talking about the music we love. It was great. It was a blast. Couple quick comments here from Twitter. MD says, Chris and PJ were great. Regardless of whether my bracket wasn't anywhere near what the Kiss Tards ended up with, I'm comforted in thinking that Chris would have liked it. All right. Let's see. Our buddy Lance, great to hear PJ on here. I agree with Jericho that Strutter should have been disqualified. That's wrong. The 80s got screwed, of course. But since people want to put me in the Alice Cooper guillotine for my love of 80s Kiss, I'm not surprised. Wave that banner for 80s Kiss Jericho. Yes, of course. But Makeup Kiss is always going to beat non-Makeup Kiss. Unfortunately, it's got like no shot. Yeah, like right here, our buddy Ken in Satan Service. I love these shooting the shit episodes. Reminds me of me and my buddies, especially the arguments and the farts that ensue. No farts on the Zoom recorders, I think. I think we were safe there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Our buddy Nige, he says, I agree with I Am Jericho. Turn on the Night and Sure Know Something are two of my favorite Kiss songs. I Stole Your Love is killer, but if adding Turn on the Night or Sure Know Something to the set would make people lose their shit. Awesome episode, and get PJ Farley back for more revenge stories. Yeah, that was a nice little bonus right there, hearing his stories about Trickster torn with revenge. So, yeah, you guys loved that episode, and obviously we did too. So, yeah, that's some Twitter stuff right there on PJ and Jericho.
Over on the Book of Face, Charles Eaton said, "Great episode, guys. CJ and PJ were great at reviewing the tournament and the screw-ups of the tournament. I'm now highly anticipating the new quarantine release from Hot in the Shade and really hoping it's going to be Read My Body."
Oh, boy.
Makeup era Kiss always crushes early 80s and 90s era Kiss in any tournament.
Yes.
When they face off. The only way to remedy the Kiss tards getting their way is to do a tournament of only non-makeup era songs. Welcome, Charles Eaton, to Shout It Out Loudcast.
Yes.
Must be your first year here. We did that, my friend. Second year. Yep. No Ace Cult representation. No Peter Criss representation. Let's find out what the makeup era Kiss tards want to listen to if makeup songs aren't on the table. It may be the only way to give them non-makeup era songs the spotlight they rightly deserve. And Charles, go to shoutitoutloudcast.com and then click on the March Madness tournament and look at the second year. We did a non-makeup tournament, which I believe Tears Are Falling won, correct?
Yep. Although, yeah, those completed brackets are all there for your review for all the tournaments. And as of this right now, the current March Madness, the end of the road madness, that's all still up on our website. All the polls, everything. We haven't taken that down yet. That'll stay up there for a little bit so people can go back and catch up and review it. So that's all there, including the completed bracket in every poll.
Yeah. And, who knows what we're going to do next year? We always try to change it up. Unfortunately, every year I'm always disappointed because the Kiss tards, no matter what they say, no matter what you do, they always just gravitate to the fucking most typical Kiss tard fucking song. And then hence Paul comes back with, this is what they want. Exactly. And that's the problem. Anyway, Mark Weiss, the talk on why Paul may not allow songs from Revenge in the set was interesting. It wouldn't surprise me if Paul felt that way. And Zeus is right. But why do they play songs from Creatures of the Night? Creatures of the Night was a disaster financially, and the album didn't sell. They have no issues playing songs from that era. I'm sure it's because it's makeup album.
That's exactly it. But that actually is a great point. Revenge had videos. Creatures of the Night had videos. Both albums were relatively unsuccessful / borderline successful, but they got War Machine, I Love It Loud, nothing from Revenge. It's an interesting point.
It's the makeup stuff.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yep. And those are two Gene songs from Creatures as well.
Yep. Which, and now that you think about it, as far like to keep the discussion going, Tom.
Yeah.
People go and see the Demon on stage. They don't want to see 80s Gene on stage. So they'd rather say, well, Gene's singing a song called War Machine or I Love It Loud, right between the eyes. That plays better.
Yeah.
So,
yep. It's true.
Tim Breen.
Uh-oh.
Currently listening. Current Kiss can't play anything from the Revenge era because Tommy can't play it. Seriously, he's just not that good of a guitar player. He can barely do Tears Are Falling. When he does, it's flaccid and lackluster.
Okay. Here's where he's right. Tommy Thayer is an awesome guitar player. Okay. But here's the problem with Tommy Thayer. And I want to brace everybody for my comments here because I'm a Tommy fan. I'm not an Ace Cult guy. Tommy plays like he's a rote guitar player. there's really no nuance or identity to him. You know when Ace is playing. You know when Bruce Kulick is playing. You know when Vinnie Vincent is playing. When Tommy Thayer's playing, you're like, oh, yeah, there's an electric guitar playing. It doesn't mean he's bad. It just means, and which is why we said he cannot nail that Tears Are Falling solo at all. Can't do it.
Yeah, there's a little more to the comment. I'd like to get your opinion on this. Bruce could never have put Ace's makeup up. Fuck that shit. Bruce had his own identity in the band by putting on Ace's iconic makeup. He would have destroyed that forever. Fuck cheater Chris, no free pass. Anyone else in that iconic makeup destroys it for me. Before Kiss dubbed the characters as Spaceman Catman, they were simply known as Ace Frehley and Peter. Ace Frehley.
I was just going to say
I had to correct myself.
Of course.
Peter and Chris, who invented those iconic characters as extensions of their personal likes and personalities. Fuck the imposters and what the current Kiss has become. End of rant. Yep. All right. Well, thanks for the comment, Tim. And because you're fucking just commenting on this shit, I love it. I love it because I can comment right back to you, buddy.
Yep.
Nonsense with that shit. Everybody has bands that fucking they love and new people come in. So what the Stones can't have three or four different iconic guitar players in that band? People going in and out of bands constantly. They're supposed to quit, right? No,
I know.
They need to have new people in it. And Kiss is known for those images. I don't fucking blame them. No, I'm sorry. Peter can't do it. I'm the biggest Peter Criss fan. Put somebody in there. I just wish he fucking didn't look like he's bored when he's up there. And I wish he wouldn't fucking look like an idiot with that wig and that makeup and those
shoes and that dress. It's awful.
Yeah. I mean, look, the old, I think it's a tired argument.
It is.
It's a tired argument. Oh,
yeah.
No one should be there. Imposters. Come on. That's fucking childish. No need to fucking, they can't be in there. You don't want to like them. You don't have to. But to say that if they're stealing it or it's nonsense. They have a right to be there. I want to see Kiss perform. I want to see Ace's makeup on fucking Tommy. I don't want Tommy out there fucking the dog boy or, he has to wear fucking something out. No, that's Kiss that I remember. And that's Kiss performing. So I just think that argument's tired, but we love to hear everyone's different opinions, and it's always welcome there.
Right.
Over on Loudcast, Sean DeHaan, your buddy there.
Yeah, Sean.
Great episode. I agree with Jericho about Forever, one of their best songs, and losing out early was criminal. However, Chris, you were way offside about Nowhere to Run. Turn on the Night is a great song, really should have been a huge hit. So is Nowhere to Run.
Yep.
Nowhere to Run is one of the best songs they've ever done, period. I just, because I fucking think Sean is so right, I had to fucking read that one. Yeah, that fucking Nowhere to Run is legendary.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup. Those are two huge, like, quote unquote, deep cuts that Kiss fans adore. Nowhere to Run and Turn on the Night. Tough matchup.
Our buddy Tony Musalam, handheld mics. Wow, rocking it old school.
Yeah, and I jumped in and said, yeah, that's because we were using a portable Zoom recorder. I don't know if there's another way to use a portable Zoom recorder without handheld mics. If there is, then we'll let you tell Jericho.
Yeah, where's the stand for us, Jericho? Yeah. Come on. But anyways, thanks, Tony. This our buddy Jack Pinocchio. This was one hell of a fun episode. Props to Chris and PJ for doing this after his show as well. Really enjoy these kind of episodes where you just shoot the breeze, chat about Kiss songs, and have fun. Mm-hmm. Well done.
Yes, thank you.
David Demesh enjoyed listening to the episode immensely on our road trip today. And even if it had my husband commenting on a few positions of the songs in the tournament, which surprised me, he's not even into Kiss. Keep it up, as I might still be able to convert him after 19 years together.
You can convert him. Don't give up. You can do it.
I mean, let's be blunt, man. He likes Kiss at this point now. He just can't admit it.
Exactly. It's right? Part of his life. It's part of his life.
If he's commenting on where a song should be, come on.
That's right.
Okay, admit it.
That's right.
Jason Warden. Okay. As Tom would say, settle down.
Uh-oh.
No way in hell is X and Sex better than All American Man. It is. I'm a big defender of X, and I do enjoy the song. but AAM kicks its ass. It doesn't. Great episode. So glad Jericho is part of the SIOL family. He loves non-makeup Kiss, most like myself. He's busy as fuck, but takes time to not only do his podcast, but yours. His latest heel run in AEW is great. So good fans still cheer him and sing along to Judas. So glad he brought PJ along. Hope we continue to have them join you all.
Thank
Jason,
you, buddy.
You're right. And Jason jumped in and joined our buddy, Stevie Flythe.
That's right.
On his podcast, On the Flythe. And they were doing a top 10 Rod Stewart list.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to jump in on that. Tom, it's almost like if they did a top 10 Elton John for you.
Yes, I'd jump in. Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
He's to you what Rod Stewart is, what Elton John is to you.
Yeah.
And they did a great episode on it, although all their song rankings were wrong.
And by the way, just to finish off that comment, thank you, Jason. And All American Man is better than Let's Put the X in Sex.
It's not.
Next comment.
Ken Ryan asked Tom, do you like Time Traveler? No.
No.
All right. Justin Steele, great episode, guys. I saw the Revenge Show in Meadowlands with Trickster. I love that tour. The which song is better debate will never end. Love Her All I Can is my absolute favorite Kiss song, and I Stole Your Love has huge fatigue for me. But I guess I'm in the minority. Keep rocking, TZ. You're not. I'm the same way. I think I Stole Your Love has become the Mr. Speed of fucking everybody loves that song. I get it.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like we've committed some kind of Kiss crime here. Is that we've turned underrated songs into overrated songs because we just won't stop talking about them.
Yeah.
Not that I Stole Your Love was ever underrated, but you know what I mean.
Kelly Jem Blair, Chris and PJ were great. Love these episodes where it's just fans of the hottest band in the world shooting the breeze and talking all things Kiss.
Yes.
Tom, just as you said.
Exactly. We've got a lot of that. We love it. Glad that you guys picked up on that because that's how we felt.
Michael Murphy, New Wave Hookers 2.
He's right.
Ranks right up there with Godfather 2, Terminator 2, and Revenge of the Nerds 2 as one of the best sequels ever made. Oh, and another great episode, fellas.
You know, I wish I could agree with you on that, but I've never seen New Wave Hookers 1. So unfortunately, I just know part 2, but you're right. It's up there. It's fantastic. Wait until we start breaking down our other, instead of album review crew, we might have a porn review crew, although we'll have to change the acronym because,
Dude, I don't want the thought of fucking Pooney talking about jerking off. Like, come on. I don't need that visual.
Ew, edit that out.
Yeah, I know. Ugh. Tom, jumping on over to YouTube. Anthony Stratus, great episode. Love the Kiss Pub Talk.
Yes.
Mr. Antonio 2005. One question for Mr. Jericho. Is he a game show lover?
What do you mean game show lover? I love to Jeopardy.
Remember that song was big in the 80s?
Remember that song was big in the 80s? I love that. I love to Jeopardy.
Our buddy Marty White. Jericho thinks Fit Like a Glove is Gene's best 80s song. Maybe he's seen the concert where they start the song and Gene sings half the first verse of Let Me Go Rock and Roll. Then they stop and start again, and Gene sings Let Me Go Rock and Roll again. They might do it a third time, but Paul eventually sings it for him. It's great stuff. Now for a serious question about the upcoming South American tour. Do you think Scrappy Doo singer will continue to fold his clothes during the show? He just does not like fucking Eric Singer.
Ooh, Laundry Boy?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I got, Tom.
All right. Let's do a couple emails here. All right, so we got a couple emails here. Let's start off with one from Corey Silver. Great show. My two favorite things growing up were Kiss and wrestling. Listen to Jericho on your show is amazing every time. He seems like a great dude. I'm just wondering if you heard about the possibility of a second cruise being added. Then he says, see below. Yes, they're talking about it. There's been no confirmation. I think that original email was sent out kind of like a little feeler, like poll type thing. Would you be interested type of shit?
Yeah, and I was one of the curmudgeons. I was like, fuck no.
I said the same thing. Get the fuck out of here. Beat it.
I'm like, so you want to fucking dilute the fact that everyone else got in line, went to the years before, and now you're going to make, everybody gets to experience this.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't like when the Garden sells out, you add a second show. This is a fucking cruise, people.
Here's what I think. I think because this is the last show, they're going to pull out something really big. And then at some point, they're like, dude, but the cruise is already sold out. We're not getting more money by doing this that big. We will if they find out we do a second boat. And that's why they're doing the second boat. That's what I think. I think either Peter or Ace is coming on. They're like, what good is it? We're already got it sold out. We'll get a second boat. Smart idea there, Tommy. Something like that.
Great work, fake Ace. Oh, sorry. All right. I didn't mean to say that out loud.
Thanks, cheater Chris. Now get my...
Get my Oreo double stuffs.
Now get the plunger. The demon dropped the deuce, and it's one for the ages.
Oh, God. All right. We got another email here from our buddy Mark Demore. And it's a nice long email. He's talking about...
He warned us, though.
Yeah, he did. He warned us more than once. So we love the email. We're not going to read the whole thing, but he's talking about his experience that he had with Joe Elliott from Def Leppard. Kind of reminded him when he heard us talking with Jericho and PJ Farley. So he says, if you made it to the end of this email, thank you. Thank you for sharing such a cool experience that brought back some of my great memories. Who knows what the next time will be? Thanks to this never-ending pandemic, at least I've got those memories. Glad that you guys have some new ones too. Cheers, Mark Demore. And he posts a picture of him and Joe Elliott from when they were at Mohegan Sun, which is obviously our neck of the wood. So, Mark, sounds like you might be a New England boy if you're taking pictures at Mohegan Sun. But very cool. Thank you for sharing. We love that when you guys share experiences that kind of remind you of what we've done or similar experiences. That kind of stuff is awesome. So thank you. We got an email from James Thompson. Ooh, sometimes he gets edgy with his emails. We'll read this one quickly here. Gentlemen, I've probably been a wrestling fan longer than I've been a Kiss fan. I bought Dressed to Kill in 1986 when I was 10. Growing up, wrestling turned from something I bought as legitimate to performance art that I still really enjoy when it's well done. In college, Jericho became one of my favorite wrestlers and has remained so ever since. I only listen to 2 music podcasts, Pot of Thunder and Shout It Out Loudcast. I listen every week. Anytime I find out Jericho is going to be a guest, it brings me back to the days when I was a kid, waiting for a special episode of the Dukes of Hazzard or Chips. Wow. All right. I'll take those. Those are both huge compliments. Let's see. And then he talks about how much he loves Jericho, listen to Kiss. Then he gives us his idea for what he would do for a Kiss podcast. He says, I'll keep you posted on my projected launch date. Until then, keep up the great work. As always, tremendous show this week. Awesome. Thank you, James. That's very cool. A couple more here. We got one from our buddy Mike H. You hit it on the nose when you said that you hoped it felt like we were sitting there with you. That's exactly how I felt, except I was wearing a ball gag. That's the most frustrating parts of these types of shows. You guys are so damn lucky. Thanks for another great show. Are there any bad ones? I say no. Mike H. Great email. We love you, Mike. Thanks, buddy. And we're going to wrap up the feedback here with a DM we got on Facebook from our buddy Jeff Kinsley from Vancouver, British Columbia.
Yeah, Patreon member Jeff Kinsley.
Jeff is rocking out on Facebook with his guitars. He's in a band of some sort here, but he sends us a picture of his Japanese Kiss vinyl collection. He's got this beautiful road case. And what has he got on top of it, Zeus? A Shout It Out Loudcast logo sticker. And he says, my Kiss Japanese vinyl collection is in here. Well, Jeff, you're a huge fan. We love you, buddy. We love that you're waving the flag for Shout It Out Loudcast on your vinyl collection, which obviously is very close and near dear to my heart. So thank you, Jeff, for this. You, my friend, are our comment of the week.
Good answer. Good answer. I like the way you think. I'm going to be watching you.
Woohoo! Yeah, Jeff. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, Jeff is a member of our Patreon family.
Yep.
And that's a nice little segue. Patreon is where people can come and join in our fun little group. And they get some perks from us. We have different actual tiers, obviously by the demon, the Catman, the Spaceman, and the Star Child. Those are the types of tiers they are. See if any of them interest you. Different tiers, different contributions to the Patreon subscription, and you get different perks back. We just got a new one this week, and we actually mentioned them earlier. Joining the demon tier, our good buddy, Stevie on the Flythe, Tom.
Awesome. Amazing. Stevie, we love you, buddy. That's amazing. Thank you for supporting the show. We're so grateful for that. We know you've been a big fan for a while. And we appreciate that very, very much. And we appreciate everything all of our wonderful Patreon family has done. As you guys listen to this episode, we will have already concluded our amazing and who knows what will be. We can't see into the future, but our Demon Tier Beer Social. It will be this past Friday, which will be the 22nd of April. So by the time you hear this, that will already have come and gone. So hopefully everybody is still alive from that. But yeah, that's just some of the fun things we like to do with our patrons. Of course, being involved in the March Madness tournament, being involved quarterly with our album review crew tournament, and just having a bunch of different fun things to do, voting on some polls, having some input on what some of the things we do, some of our teaser things, some of our Flashback Friday stuff. It's wonderful. And you guys are the best. And we can't thank you enough. And Stevie Flythe, special thanks to you, my buddy.
Yeah. Patreon has been bigger than we could ever have imagined. And they've helped the show out a ton. Mm-hmm. We have a road trip coming up. We're going to try to be taping a lot of our road trip Creatures Fest and a lot of the instruments and material by Patreon.
Yep.
So we appreciate all that you guys do. You want to help out the show. That's the best way to do it. Join our Patreon group. We appreciate your subscriptions, and we hope that we can continue to give you unique content and change it up a little bit for you guys, and that you guys keep enjoying it. From the feedback we've been getting and the fact that the membership doesn't go down, it keeps getting better and better. I feel like you guys are really appreciating and getting this as a two-way street about our Patreon. It works both ways. We're all having a great time with it. And,
indeed.
If you guys are interested, you can find Patreon on our awesome new website, shoutitoutloudcast.com. You can go to the app, or you can go to patreon.com, Patreon. You look for creators and you find Shout It Out Loudcast, and there we are. Mm-hmm. So let's move on over, Tom. We usually, after we talk about our little Patreon group, we jump on over to Kiss World. What's going on over there?
All right. So the tour started back up on Tuesday, April 19th. They're in South America. They were in Chile. And of course, everybody was waiting with bated breath. I don't know why any of us were waiting for this, because we knew it wasn't going to happen. Ooh, are they going to change the set list? Wah, wah. Not a whit. Nope. The exact same thing.
We thought that they were going to look at the fucking end of the Madness tournament and say, looks like we got to put in I Stole Your Love.
No, instead they said, fuck them.
But that's what the fans want. Why won't you just do what the fans want? Why? Because fuck them. Which is interesting, because in the upcoming episode, you're going to hear from Paul Stanley. He loves to give the fans what they want, right? Yeah. Well, not anymore. Anyways, so yeah, no changes to the set list. And of course, we had some people saying, oh yeah, it's choreographed at the pyro. Yeah, it is. But they've been on a hiatus for 6 months. You could have reprogrammed one song. But again, we have beaten a dead horse, dead about the set list. So the tour is back up. They're going to be in South America for a while now. It looks like they're going to be there until the beginning of May. They take a break. They come back to the States.
And they'll be coming to Hartford, Connecticut here in the middle of May. I don't think we're going to be going to that one. We're going to be getting our asses ready for Creatures Fest. So the band is back, and the set list is the same. So that's about it. Gene Simmons from Kiss signed a new deal he's partnering with Gibson for a new signature G2 Thunderbird bass. The thing is pretty fucking badass looking. You can visit Gene Simmons' Twitter page. Guitar World has an article about it. There's a bunch of different articles on it. They kind of cover up what its appearance, give it a little bit of a review. If you want one, you can buy one for $27.99 because why not? I don't own a bass guitar, but I guess if you want Gene Simmons' new Thunderbird, you can grab one for $27.99. And other things in news, if you consider this news, our good friend Bruce Kulick.
Move on over, prosciutto Paul Stanley, pizza making connoisseur.
It's now Mrs. Butterworth's Bruce. We got flapjacks in the family here. He's making pancakes with his lovely wife, Lisa.
We love Bruce.
We love Bruce. It's funny because I saw somebody on social media, and forgive me, it may have been our buddy Jack Pinocchio, who said something along the lines of like, funny how we celebrate this. We enjoy Bruce, but we give Paul shit for making pizzas and stuff. And he's right. He's right. But to me, it all comes down to Bruce is just to me, personally speaking, Bruce is just a more lovable, likable guy. And when I look at this, I look at it like he's just doing something fun with his wife. They're a married couple. They're in the kitchen. They're doing the flapjacks. You know, hey guys, Bruce Kulick here.
You got to do it this way. Hey guys, Bruce Kulick. I like breakfast. The other day, Lisa made some flapjacks. The best. You got to try them. Bruce Kulick. See you later.
Syrup. What a great condiment. Do you call syrup a condiment, by the way? I don't know. But I'll tell you right now, I love Bruce, so I don't give a shit. I don't care if he's making flapjacks or hamburgers.
There's a difference. Bruce is like, hey, me and my wife, we have a recipe. Hope you can try it. Hope you'll like it. Paul's like, look at me. I can make pizza, and I'm a brilliant chef, and I've got, pat me on the back. Bruce isn't doing it to fucking be like, I'm a Renaissance man. My wife is on the count of my wife making flapjacks.
You like drinking? Hell, you like drinking? Who don't?
Let me ask you a question. You like drinking? Hell, you like drinking. Who the hell don't? Well, if you like me, you like to get bent just as fast as possible. That's why I'm proud to introduce to you Uncle Jemima's Pure Mash Liquor. I'm Uncle Jemima. You probably know my wife, Aunt Jemima, the pancake lady.
Uncle Jemima Kulick.
We love Bruce.
But regardless, okay. Oh, you forgot to mention Gene was hawking a Kiss bike.
Oh, jeez. I mean, come on. Can I ride that bike to fucking Dubai to pick up my DVDs?
Yes. But
Jesus.
Also, while on tour, Paul's buddy, the infamous rock photographer Ross Halfin, put in some photos up. And so I got to mention this. He put a photo up of Paul, like at rehearsal.
Yeah.
I've never seen Paul look so good in the last 5 years.
I think I saw the picture, same picture. Yeah.
Big smile, photogenic, looks like a handsome man. Everything's right. I'm like, dude, that fucking Ross Halfin is a fantastic photographer.
Yep.
Look how perfect this picture's of Paul.
Yep.
Then compare that with like a day earlier. Just landed in fucking South America. Fucking dude, you look like miserable.
It looks like he sat on a flight with us after I had a chicken pop.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his poor face.
Oh my God.
Like, who the fuck farted?
Yeah. And he just looks horrendous.
Yeah.
And so
man.
And then he writes like in the picture, the beautiful photo that Ross Halfin had taken, like, oh, the old adage about if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, compare that to the photo from a day ago. I wouldn't be saying you look like you love what you do.
Yeah, you look like you survived a plane crash coming out of the airport there, Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus. But that picture, you talking about the picture where he's like looking off to the side, smiling?
Yes.
Yeah, he's got the Ross teeth.
Yeah, he's got
the shiny white Ross teeth.
The Ross Geller teeth. But anyways, I just thought that was kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
But we got to get to the episode. Unfortunately, though, before we can get there, I'm going to go get me some of that flapjack ass.
Well, I'm back. Ooh, Mrs. Butterworth. Ooh, you sweet and sticky.
Yeah. Anyway, so another one of those late night fucking around on YouTube, and I came across this fucking thing a while back. I'm just like, one of these days we got to break this thing down. Fucking hilarious. And I had seen this video before we had Carmine on.
Oh, yeah.
Carmine Apiece on our show. And I wanted to ask him a little bit about it, but I didn't. He said him and Paul are still fine. I wonder if they were after this episode. But it's quite interesting. So the lady's name is Radio Chick. She's a radio personality. She's quite popular, has hosted a few things, got a radio show. I don't know, maybe came across in the beginning like a shock jock and something. She's been Carmine Apiece's long-time girlfriend for a long time. They lived together and everything. So obviously there's a connection there with Paul. If you want to know more about the connection of Carmine and Paul, go listen to our Carmine Apiece episode. But so that's the buildup to this. This is around the time Paul was doing art. It was around February 2007. He was promoting his art, going to be at a gallery. And this lady who hosts this radio program invited Paul on to talk about his art.
Oh, so we thought, until her very first question was not about art.
Yeah. And she puts her foot in her mouth within seconds. And this becomes one of the cringiest Kiss things you'll ever hear.
It's great, too, because it starts off cringy, then it kind of gets back on track, and then it just ends super cringe.
We'll dissect this.
Yeah.
But before we do, this is on YouTube. You can find it. Here is the clip, and we'll come back and break it down at the end. Here you go.
92.3 Free FM.
The Radio Chick Show.
Paul Stanley, are you there?
I'm here. What did I miss out on?
Well, we were actually talking about my boyfriend, Carmine Apiece, who I know you know.
Oh, yeah. Good old Carmine.
Yeah.
What's Carmine up to?
He's banging me, mostly.
Well, probably more fun than the drum.
So thank you for coming on the show. I have to come clean with you, though, right away. When Kiss fans were recently protesting outside the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame about the band not getting in,
right?
I got called by some media outlets, and I said that the band didn't belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
The quote got picked up by Newsweek. It's just one man's opinion. I'm not sure if you care, but I think you'd be pleased to know that I got pummeled with hostile email from Kiss fans, including a death threat.
All over the world.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure that you got all kinds of hate mail at your Winnebago down by the lake. And, have you seen my house?
Oh, no, believe me, I'm not denying your success. Yeah, but that's, again, one man's opinion. That's not what I think the Hall of Fame is about.
I just love that you start the interview this way.
Yes.
I mean, that's like something you do at the end.
Well, I can't warm up to that. I feel like I need to come clean with that right away.
Okay, that's why you're where you are and I'm where I am.
Well, now
let's talk about me.
Do you care that the band isn't in yet? Does that bother you at all?
It doesn't bother me. It bothers our fans, and I appreciate that. The truth is that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a joke because you only have to look at some of the people who've been inducted, and most of the public doesn't even know who they are. So it's really a club run by a bunch of guys on the East Coast who decide who belongs in their little club. And honestly, there are bands in there that didn't sell as many albums in their careers we sold in a week. And at some point, it really is only about how many people you've touched and how many people have bought your albums, because that's what makes you famous.
But do you think it is about the record sales? Is that what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should reflect?
Of course, it's about the music that you've touched people with. You can't sell 80 million albums. They didn't have smoke bombs in them. They didn't have laser shows in them.
Yeah.
They had music, and to this day, that music still sells. So
wow.
It's certainly about that more than it's about some band that played CBGBs and couldn't get arrested.
Wow.
Well, but I would argue that that's what awards like the Billboard Awards are for, that reflect sales and popularity.
Well, you know something? You may be hosting the show, but I'm the guest, so let's talk about me.
All right. Woo. Yeah, all right. You want to talk about your painting right off?
Yeah, I was told to call. So you tell me what you'd like, and I'll tell you if I'll go along with it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about what you came on for. Okay. I know that you're doing some painting. There are other artists, musical artists, who have been painters as well, like Grace Slick and Ronnie Wood and so forth.
Right.
What's the link, you think, between musicianship and the visual arts?
Well, it's interesting because when you look at a lot of the big musicians, most of them have a background in art. So whether it's Clapton or Ron Wood or a lot of other people, there definitely seems to be a connection. And I think if you're creative in one area, you're probably creative in more. It's just a matter of which you put your time into. I actually started off as an artist and studied that, although I always wanted to be a musician. And I just found myself being told that it was more realistic to go into the art field than music. So I tended to do that for a while, and then I just decided that my calling was to sell 80 million albums with or without the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Sweet.
And, at this point, it's nice to go back and do some painting. And the painting has been tremendously successful, so I guess other people relate to it too. It's actually, pretty cathartic.
What do you paint? What are your subjects?
I think most of the time what I like to do is more or less just kind of purge. In other words, find something that's coming from inside and keep it more or less abstract, because I spend a certain amount of time trying to do things that were realistic, and I think that tends to appeal more to like the intellectual side of people, and I would rather deal with more the emotional side.
Has Gene ever asked you to paint him?
No, he hasn't, although I actually did a group of the four members of the band because I thought that would be fun, and Kiss fans in particular would relate to that. Mm-hmm. Although, not surprisingly, at least to me, most of the art that's been acquired and most of the prints that sell are bought by people who aren't necessarily Kiss fans. The appeal of the art seems to be initially to people just on an aesthetic level, and they don't know actually who did it.
Hey, Paul, when you do something like this and you're, it's relatively new for you, how, I don't know if it's you or someone else, how do they decide how to price a piece of artwork by Paul Stanley? Well,
I guess things are priced. I guess the best way to figure out what something is worth is what somebody will pay for it. Wouldn't you say, when you go out to buy some of those shoes that you probably buy, or some of...
I have 80 million shoes, by the way.
No doubt. But, you decide how much it's worth by whether or not you buy it and how much you're willing to pay. So the market seems to have been very strong for my art because paintings seem to go... there are $25,000 paintings that have sold.
Wow.
So,
now, how long does it take you to complete one of these paintings?
I don't think that that's important, because I think that someone told me early on that people will tend to equate the time you spend or don't spend on something with how valuable it is or how important it is. So, rather than say it took 2 months or 2 minutes, I think it's more important whether it has impact.
Well, what's harder to what's harder to know is complete, a song or a painting?
Well, that's interesting. That's really interesting because I think in a song, it's easier to backtrack, and you can take away things, and you can decide what's not necessary, whereas it's more difficult when you're painting, I believe, to be able to say, that's it. You have to know when to stop before you've overshot your mark.
Okay.
So I think it's more difficult with painting because you can work something to death. I mean, you can just rework something over and over and find yourself going past, when it was fresh and vibrant.
Right. Now, you're going to be at the Wentworth Galleries, actually Friday the 9th, February 9th from 6 to 9,
right.
And the shop's at Riverside, and then Saturday from 4 to 7 at the Wentworth Gallery in Short Hills. So now, do you make a lot of these gallery appearances?
I do them from time to time. I mean, it's not like going on tour. I mean, it's really not a gallery tour, so to speak. But I do like to do it because it gives me a chance to, press the flesh, so to speak, with sometimes a different group of people. People who are interested in something other than the music. And again, the response and the success of it has been so beyond anything I could have expected that I like to get out there and meet the people.
Can we talk commerce for a second?
Of course we can.
Okay. How is the Kiss Coffee House doing?
Kiss Coffee House is doing phenomenally well. I mean, we're trying to figure out when and who will open more of them. So,
will you be franchising?
We're just deciding what's the best way to do it. It's a unique combination of elements. Look, Kiss is a band that plays music, but obviously there's so much more that we can do. And, the truth is, we can be called marketing geniuses and everything else, but all we ever do is listen to the fans and listen to people on the street, and we give them what they want. So I don't know that we can be commended for anything except acute hearing.
Okay. Now, have you? I mean, you have certainly put your image on a lot of products. Are there things that you turned down?
Oh God, there's so many things that get turned down. Look, there's a fine line, and sometimes we may cross it. But everybody's perception of what we should be is purely theirs. I have to decide what works for me.
Okay. So, can you tell us the worst idea that's been presented to you? I mean, would you do a Kiss toaster or a Kiss stapler or a Kiss home alarm system?
Why not? Why not? Why not? You're brilliant, and you didn't even know it. Just don't ask for residual.
Well, so what's an idea that you would turn down or have turned down?
Off the top of my head, I can't think of them, but there's more probably turned down than are accepted.
Okay.
There are things that I just think are either inappropriate or don't show the band in the light that I think is a reflection of the way I want to see us.
All right.
Credibility is the only credibility that counts to me is in my eyes.
All right. I can see that. So now, one other subject here. I watch Gene on Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. I think it shows a softer side to Gene, and I find him more endearing than I otherwise would have. Is Gene all of those things, one of those things? Which is the Gene that you know?
I've never seen the show, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you just sick of hanging around with him? You can't stand another minute of looking at him?
I think the beauty of a relationship that works is knowing, its limitations and not expecting something from somebody that they don't have to offer. So,
wow.
We've made it this far, which is probably a lot longer than any relationship you've probably had.
I can see I totally pissed you off.
No. I mean that in a good way. I mean, most of us don't have relationships that can last anywhere near 30 or 35 years.
Yeah,
that goes for me too.
Yeah.
But I think that the key to a relationship lasting is not expecting of somebody what they can't give.
Okay.
So that's not a slight to you. It's more that we know where to draw the line with each other, and I think it's probably better for me not to see that show. But I commend him. You know, he's always doing something, and he has every right to.
Okay. Now I have to go back to it because I see I irritated the hell out of you with my.
You think you did?
Well, I think I did. Yes.
And that would probably make you feel that you're very important.
No, I just I'm taking a cue from the way you're answering some of my questions that I might have irritated you early on in the conversation. Okay, I'm not placing anything on my inflated importance.
Well, I hate to tell you, you really didn't.
Oh, all right, fine. All right. Then fine. That's great.
In other words,
then I feel much better.
In other words, he just hates you naturally.
Oh.
Has nothing to do with what you said.
Okay. All right. Good.
I mean, maybe my answers sound pointed, but it's probably because I try to be concise and articulate my point of view. You might be used to interviewing guys who can't find their way out of a room, but you know. Well,
no, actually, we have interviewed you before. You've been on the show with us, albeit at a different place with Gene. You were a great guest, tremendous guest.
Aren't I good today?
I'm thinking a little less so. But perhaps I'm not quite the host that I was last time.
Well, you know what? It's only good to be reciprocal, and I'm trying to reciprocate what I'm.
All right. I honestly didn't mean to be hostile with you, but I wanted to come clean about my opinion. I certainly take nothing away from the success of the band. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's more how I view the role of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I certainly, as a guest on my show, did not mean to get under your skin. If indeed I did.
And let me just add, Paul. This is Chuck Nice talking. I frickin' love you, and you were my favorite member of the band, as far as I'm concerned. So,
well, why don't you send her out for coffee and we can finish the interview?
He can't. I'm the one with the plugs. All right, Paul, thank you so much. You're going to be at the Wentworth Gallery Friday, February 9th from 6 to 9 p.m. The shop's at Riverside. You can RSVP if you want to go, 201-488-7661. And also the next day, Saturday, February 10th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the same Wentworth Gallery, this one in Short Hills at the Short Hills Mall. The RSVP number there is 973-564-9776. You can actually meet Paul. He'll be there for 3 hours, and you can see his beautiful artwork as well.
I see, Chick, also that you can run into Paul if you want, because he's going to go to an event you go to every year, which is the Art Expo here in New York.
Oh.
I'm looking at paulstanley.com, and I guess you'll be there March 3rd at a booth showing your art here in New York City. Is that right?
I will be there.
Oh, see fantastic. That? And I know you go every year, Chick, so maybe,
That's
you
great.
might want to bring a peace offering, a nice pound cake or something.
Yes, or, right. Yes, a pound of Kiss coffee, something. Right?
Well, you know where you can put it.
Paul Stanley, thanks so much.
Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Wow.
Ooh, was that uncomfortable?
That was great, dude.
You are such a dope.
You
really
are something else, girl. I'm telling
you.
So, Tom, that was Leslie Gold, a.k.a. Radio Chick, interviewing Paul Stanley in February 2007 about his appearance on the gallery for his art. How'd that go?
Oh, my God. First of all, look, with all due respect to Carmine Appice and his girlfriend, Leslie Gold, the Radio Chick, just don't do this. Don't do what you're doing here. The shock jock. Even Howard Stern was a shock jock, but he never disrespected his guests. You had him on to talk about his art gallery. Of course you're going to talk about Kiss, but you start off right by saying, well, I don't think you should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
What? Like, what?
How do you start with that? Even her producer was like, you started with this. Most people end with this.
Yeah. And it's like, so it starts off and said, like, you can tell it's Paul Stanley. There's so many things about his
dude.
It's a fucking therapist's wet dream.
He is a silent assassin in this fucking interview.
So he comes on and they're giggling or something. He comes on. Yeah. What did I miss out on? Like already defensive. Like, oh, were you talking about me? What's going on?
Not even defensive. Just the paranoia is already rampant. Yeah. It's like, oh, people are laughing. What did I miss?
Yeah, already nervous and defensive already. And she's like, oh, we're talking about my boyfriend, Carmine Apiece. And he's like, oh, yeah, what's Carmine up to? Oh, he's banging me.
What is that answer? Right off the bat, I'm like, settle the fuck down, radio chick.
Yeah, I think Paul's like, dude, it's 2007. God bless Carmine. He's still got that fucking mustache on. Who are you he's banging?
We got to be careful, too, because Carmine's on the Pantheon Podcast Network, so he might come after us.
Carmine's asleep. He ain't listening right now. Let's be blunt. We love Carmine.
We love Carmine, of course.
He's awesome.
Of course.
And I love him as much as I love Biden. Oh, he's a good guy, but yeah, point him this way. No, he's gonna
watch out for that wall. Watch out for that telephone pole. He's gonna hit it.
Can you unplug the toaster when he's around? Just come on. Anyway,
but it's obviously before they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because Paul does his standard bashing about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But now in 2022, he tells everybody that you're looking at a band who's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Back then, before they were in it, he kind of hated it. So then she starts talking about it, and it's a very weird way to start an interview, of course.
Yeah, Paul comes in and says, after he says banging me, yeah, he's probably more fun than drums. Then the fucking idiot, for some reason, this fucking lady, I have to come clean with you.
Yeah.
I got called on by some media outlets. Okay, Howard Stern.
Hey, we heard Leslie Gold thinks Kiss shouldn't be. Dude, relax.
And that she said that the band didn't belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And it got picked up by like Newsweek. And I got pummeled by the Kiss fans, including the death threat. And like she's like bragging about it to Paul. So Paul, if we all know the Paul that we all love, imagine Paul getting on a fucking radio program for an interview and hearing this.
To start.
Oh,
it's not even in the middle of the interview. It's starting with that.
And then Paul, he was quick on his feet, though. I will give him credit.
But I'll tell you the frightening thing about Paul in this interview, and I mean this from a psychological perspective here. I don't talk about my background a lot, but I have like an advanced background in the field of psychology here. You're hearing the voice of like a sociopath from Paul. Okay. Because
Paul a sociopath
because
Kiss podcast.
Because if you notice, if you listen to the tone of his voice, he never elevates the tone of his voice. He never raises his voice. He comes at her as cold and as icy as you can be. And he ain't fucking joking. I don't care what anybody says.
You called him a sociopath.
He is. He absolutely is. He's a paranoid sociopath.
I'm the negative one, they say.
I'm not being negative.
Dude, I have never, ever been as bad as calling one of them a sociopath.
I am not being negative. I am giving him a clinical diagnosis. There's a difference. I can't help it.
That's awesome. Oh, my God. I'm stuck on it now. Hold on. Let me get back to what I was thinking about. Anyways, then Paul comes back there and he says, I'm sure you get all kinds of hate mail at your Winnebago down by the lake. And then he compounds it by saying, have you seen my house?
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, first of all, you got a persecution complex. You have an inferiority complex. Like, but it is. He exposed himself in this interview. It was like therapy 101.
Dude, this week, Zeus and Dr. Melfi are breaking down this interview. What the fuck? So I'll be reading this. Pretend I'm talking about a stranger, Tom, and you diagnose this person.
Do it.
You're like my favorite show, Law and Order, when they'll bring in the fucking cold fucking guy from Farmers Insurance guy. He was always the shrink. Well, he's a sociopath. This person will end up killing more people. This and that.
That's right.
And you know that just by reading an interview?
Yes.
Yes. Anyways, I just put that. Have you seen my house? Dude, what an arrogant, thin-skinned person
But the thing that is scary is there's no hint of humor. There's no like self-deprecating humor about it. And meanwhile, Leslie and her co-host and her producer, they're having a great time. They're giggling and laughing. And he's like,
they were aghast when he fucking first came back. When his first comment was like, yeah, you're Winnebago. And have you seen my house? They're like, oh shit. The co-hosts were all on Paul's side. Loving it, laughing at everything he said.
Yeah.
And I just love that you start the interview that way. The co-host says, Paul says, that's okay. That's why you are where you are, and I am where I am.
Oh, come on, man. I mean, no offense. I mean, I know Leslie Gold isn't like, Howard Stern, but she's for her career, she's very successful. I mean, she's been around for a while. She's a name.
And Paul says, now let's talk about me. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, go ahead. I know we're going to go chronological here. Go ahead.
And then they talked about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Does it bother you? Paul gave the cliche answers. No, it bothers the fans, and jokes about, the nominating process. You know how he is.
Yep.
Fucking there are people in New York City, one person's opinion. And then they get into a kind of a discussion about, is it just record sales? Because then this is Leslie, the radio chick, saying,
yeah,
then I would call that's what the Billboard Awards are. I'm with Paul on that.
Me too. I agree. I was totally on Paul.
Dude, what?
He said it perfectly too. He goes, yeah, we sold, 80 million records, and those records didn't have lasers or smoke bombs. They had music on them.
Yeah. People were buying them.
Right. Yeah. I thought that was a great point.
Yeah, exactly. And then Paul says, you may be hosting, but I'm the guest. Now let's talk more about me.
Yeah. And then she's like, okay. Then she says something like, something like, what do you want to talk about or something? He's he's like, well, you asked me to be on the show. I don't know. Like, he was just being like real, like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I'll tell you whether I'll go along with it.
Yeah. Like, yikes.
Fucking. And then this fucking boring part where it's like music and art. What do you think? And I'm like fucking falling asleep.
Yeah.
And then Paul obviously turns it in. My call was to sell 80 million albums with or without the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yep.
Why do you paint? Did Gene ask you to paint him?
But this is where the interview was straddling the line between, okay, they're both professionals. They've recovered from that uncomfortable intro. Now they're getting into an interview. But all I could think about was the two of them right now hate each other, and they want to continue throwing jabs at each other.
See, I don't think she hates him. I think she's embarrassed because holy shit.
Hate's a strong word. Yeah,
I think she's like, word. I pissed this guy off. I'm coming across like an asshole.
Yes.
And then they asked him, did Gene ever ask you to paint him? And Paul talks about his paint, and most of my paint is bought by non-Kiss fans. Fuck that. Nice try. That can't be true.
The other thing too, he said most of his paintings were kind of like abstract, and I tried not to paint like realistic stuff. Where he changed his tune, because on the Kiss cruise last year, all of his stuff was all other artists or like real like band member things or different things like that. That not a lot of. I mean, there was some abstract stuff, yes, but it seemed like he's kind of doing a little bit more of both. Now again, this interview's from 2007, so maybe that's what he was doing at that time. But
yeah, I know. Fucking for me, it's boring though. How do you?
Oh yeah.
How do you price it? Are you, price it as something you're willing to pay for? And just like, when you buy some of the shoes you buy, and she starts laughing like, and he's like, no, I'm not attacking you, but
you are. That joke is an attack, Paul. That's what I mean. That's an attack.
How long does it take? It's not important. I agree with him about this.
Me too.
I had this analogy told to me years ago. And when I was finishing up at law school, I had a professor that told me this. He's like, how do you price this? We did a will, like a fake will for somebody. And everyone's like, I don't know, like $300, $200, $100, $400. And he's like, all you guys are wrong. It's over $1,000. I was like, $1,000? We just did this here. We're just students. And he's like, that's right. That's how you're going to lose money when you're doing this. He's like, I'll give you an analogy. He's like, all you guys, I'm in my house. I can't fix a pipe. My fucking pipe is not working. I finally break down. I call a plumber. The plumber comes over my house, looks around, grabs a hammer, smacks something with the hammer. Boom, it's working. He's like, here's my bill, $150. He's like, what the fuck, $150? You were here for 5 minutes. I could have done that. It's like, it didn't take me 5 minutes to learn. That's all it took, did it? And that's the same thing.
Yep.
And it's the same thing that Paul talks about here. It didn't take me, because it may have taken me an hour to do this. You know how many years of training and practicing and stuff it took me to be able to do that in an hour? Same thing with me. When I sit down and you price something out for somebody because you have the expertise, and the same thing for a mechanic, and the same thing for somebody else that gets an expertise. It takes fucking time. Yep. Now that's enough for serious Zeus. Let's go back to being fucking an idiot. Anyways, they were talking about, the importance of painting and all that shit. And it's like,
she did have one good question, though, I thought, which was interesting. And even Paul responded with, that he even said, that's interesting. But she said, what do you find it easier to do, to know when a song is finished or when a painting is finished? He kind of went into that whole mindset of an artist, of working on a project. To me, I thought that was interesting because Paul is a thoughtful person. I mean, I know I called him a couple other different terms at the beginning, but Paul is very thoughtful. He's
artistic. He's
artistic, and he's a cerebral guy. So hearing that kind of answer, I enjoyed that part of the interview from him.
Because he's right, because you can overshoot it, and then you're like, oh, fuck, I did too much here.
Exactly.
And then they get into, let's talk about commerce and fucking whatever. And they start talking about the Kiss Coffee House. And you can tell she's saying it in a condescending manner.
Thank you. I'm glad you picked up on that, because
Paul picked up on it.
The condescension was
how's the Kiss Coffee House doing? He's like, it's doing well, performing phenomenally well. We're deciding where to put the next one.
Yep.
Like to shove it right back in her face.
Very condescending.
And then he went back to like, is there anything you guys don't like to do? And Paul's like, oh yeah, there's plenty of stuff we haven't. Like what? Would you do a Kiss toaster? A Kiss alarm system?
Yeah.
Again, condescending to Paul, mocking him, and said, wow, why not? You're brilliant, and you didn't even know it. Of course, she gets the host laughing. What's something you've turned down? And Paul's, I can't think of one, but I think there are, and this is what I highlighted. And this is, again, the band and the brand, and that everything has changed. And Paul's like, I have final say in everything.
Yep.
So, and I'm quoting this, Paul, I can't think of, but there's things that I think are inappropriate or don't show the band in the light that I think are a reflection of the way that I want to see us.
Yep.
No, we, not Gene and I, nothing. It's I. The only credibility that counts is in my eyes.
Bingo. Yep.
So these are the things that fucking shed the light on the relationship. Yeah. Gene, you want to fucking license? Paul, I've licensed our likeness on these 542 things. Paul will be like, all right, thanks for doing all the work. Let me see. Yes, no. Yes, no. Here you go, Gene. Thanks, Mr. Stanley. And then he goes and does it. That's how it works. That's the dynamic. He lets it slip. How I think we should be perceived. How I think we look credible. Fucking Gene will license anything.
It's funny because that's 2007. I wonder if Paul would talk like that today.
I think that's when you're like, okay, Sonic Boom. Okay, Monster. Let's do. Okay, we are going to continue the band. We are going to do it. Gene, I thought we were done after this, but you want to continue it? We're doing it my fucking way.
Yep.
And I think that's the part of it that's kind of showed when he talks like this and lets it slip a little bit. And then she gets into asking about Gene, the different side of him on Family Jewel. And Paul admits, like he always says, I didn't watch it. I've never seen the show. The beauty of a working relationship, and he says this all the time, is that knowing what works has its limitations. Not expecting something from someone that they don't have to offer. I'm like, that is therapy talk 101.
It's complete.
Right? And like you can tell he's had this conversation like, I'm disappointed with Gene doing that. Well, why are you expecting him to do that if that's not in his nature? And it's like so rude about Gene. Well, how about fucking Gene saying that about you? it could be said the same thing to him. Don't expect Paul not to be jealous, I'm thinking, or not to get sensitive about this if he feels left out or not as important as Eugene. That's how I would see it. It could be both ways, not just Gene.
He also quickly corrected himself when he said, a working relationship or a relationship with somebody that you work with, or how he phrased it, because working relationship strips the personal relationship. Like when you use that term, like, I have a working relationship with, whatever. He quickly corrected himself, because I think the term working relationship with somebody like Gene that he's known for 50 years doesn't really sound good.
It's like the husband and wife entertainment act that they're only together because of the business act, and they got to keep the facade going, but both of them live with other people and they do their own shit. Right. But yeah, we have a working relationship. And then he fucking throws out again, I think it's a jab. It's probably longer than any relation that you've probably had. And she's like, I see that. I totally pissed you off. No, I mean that in a good way. It's not a slight to you.
Yeah, see that right there.
35, 40 years I've been with him, he's saying.
That right there is when you know that Paul is really like an assassin. Because how do you say probably longer than any relationship you've ever had? But I don't mean that insulting. No, Paul, there's only one way to interpret that. That's you coming around full circle and attacking the radio chick right now.
And then she says, I have to get back to it because I see that I irritated the hell out of you.
Yep.
When she's phrased it like that, I'm thinking, no. You didn't irritate him as much as the fact that you said you irritated him, that you are saying that what you did got to him. There is no way in hell that Paul is going to let you say out loud that you changed his thoughts or controlled how he behaves. Therapy 101 again.
That's right.
No way. And Paul says right back to her, you think you did.
Yep. That's him playing defense, because he clearly understood that he kind of let his guard down and he let his emotions get the best of him.
Yeah,
he looks petty. He looks child. That's a stupid fucking thing to say, Paul. I love you, buddy, but come on, that's probably longer than any relationship you ever had. And everyone was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. And then she says, "Yeah, I think I did." Paul, that would probably make you feel like you're very important.
Again,
dude,
slicing. It's like death. It's like that death by 1,000 cuts.
The co-hosts were dying laughing.
But this is when Leslie
said it too. The way he said it, that would make you feel like you were important.
And this is when Leslie came around full circle and gave a really, to me, for the first time, sounded like she was really kind of begging for mercy, forgiveness.
Yeah, I'm taking a cue from the way you're answering my questions.
Yeah.
And Paul says, I hate to tell you, you really didn't. It just got really awkward, I put.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Co-host jumps in and says, he just hates you naturally.
That was awesome right there. That was, oh, man.
And then Paul says, maybe my answers sound pointed, and says, because I'm concise and I articulate my point of view, and you might be used to interviewing guys who can't find their way out of a room.
That's the sociopath right there. When you say, you may think I'm like whatever the word you use, but my answers are pointed. What that means is he speaks his mind.
I'm better than anybody you've ever had on this show.
It's not even necessarily that. It's like, I'm going to speak my mind. And he is completely devoid of understanding how someone may interpret what he's saying. He doesn't understand that Leslie thinks he's upset, because all he cares about is how he feels when he's talking to her. He can't understand that Leslie thinks that you're upset.
Dude, you must think I'm a psychopath too.
There's a difference. There's a difference between a psychopath. There's a big difference between a psychopath and a sociopath. Two very different things.
All right. So which one?
You're neither.
Okay.
You're neither.
Thank you. But good God, now I'm nervous to talk around you because you've just diagnosed Paul to a T. What the fuck? Anyway, Leslie jumps in and says, well, we've interviewed you before and you were a great guest, a tremendous guest. Paul goes, aren't I good today?
That was odd. That was my favorite line. Such a ball-breaking comment.
Co-host dies laughing.
Yeah.
And, it's got to be reciprocal. I'm trying to reciprocate what I'm getting, Paul says.
More therapy talk. Translation, you're being a dick to me. I'm going to be a dick to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Leslie, it's nothing against the band. It's just how I view the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like trying to be like, I'm not saying you don't deserve it, but I'm going by their criteria. She's trying to backtrack.
It's not working.
Yeah. And I didn't mean to get, quote unquote, under your skin.
And that pisses him off even more the more she says it.
I'm like, Paul won't like that terminology.
No.
He ain't letting you say that again, that you control his feelings.
Yep.
Chuck Nice, I guess, is the co-host. He jumps in and goes, well, let me just tell you, Paul, I love you. And you're my favorite member of the band. Paul says, well, why don't you send her out for coffee and we can finish the interview?
That was, when I first heard that, I almost drove off the road because I was listening to my car. I was like, holy fuck, Paul.
Dude, he is smart. And I'm telling you, though, I think he comes up with these sayings in interviews all these times. Remember, we talked about it on the Oprah thing. He has all these sayings in his pocket and he's waiting.
Do you?
Yeah. Now I can use that. Now I can use that.
Yeah.
Now I can. Like he has them all. He needs to be protected. He can't just wing shit.
Yep.
He needs to have his fucking safety blanket next to him.
But anyways, that's it. But him saying that's his way of being like, okay, Leslie thinks that she knocked me down a peg. I have to knock her down a peg by saying, oh, yeah, let send her out for coffee because did you notice how he didn't say, yeah, why don't you take over the interview? What's an insulting thing to say to somebody? Go get him coffee. Show Carlo the tree.
Yeah. Like show Carlo the tree.
Right.
Or basically what people accuse Tommy of being.
Like a gopher, like a second tier. Go get coffee and we'll do the interview.
Or what Peter talks about Tommy. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the condescending, like fucking go get me coffee, boy.
Exactly. Yep.
And then the co-host brings up the fact that there's some sort of event that they both go to. Oh, you might see Paul there. Maybe you'll bring him a peace offering. She's like, yeah, maybe I'll bring him a pound of Kiss coffee. Oh. And Paul comes back like this.
I love it.
Says, well, you know where you can put it.
Uncalled for. So uncalled for.
They all fucking die laughing. The co-host... They hang up with Paul. Paul, thank you. Paul's like, yep, see you, bye. And even when they hang up, the co-hosts are going, wow, that was so uncomfortable.
Yep.
And one of them is like, you are such a dope. He says to her, and she's like, girl, you're something else or something, girl.
You could hear it as the interview was fading away. They were pretty much being like, what, dude, you got Paul Stanley on. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Like you're a dope.
Why would you tell your guest that you don't think the band that he's in deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? Why?
I guarantee she'd probably be like, well, Carmine played with Jeff Beck.
So,
right. That's critic. That's a critic thing.
Of course.
That's what she's getting at. And Paul's right when he talks about who gives a fuck. Some band was at CBGB and fucking, they were the first one to fucking wear a pink leather jacket and a fucking, a safety bin in their jeans.
Right.
And then I copied it on fucking the Crazy Nights album.
Right.
Like, who cares? He's right. Dude, whose albums are still selling?
Oh, my God.
But I think this is fucking fascinating. I love the breakdown. I love Paul being thinking on his feet that quickly. These are the kind of things that I think are fun and interesting to break down. Yeah, we're going to break down more albums. Yeah, we're going to break down tours and stuff and have guests and interviews and stuff. But this shit is fun.
And the thing I love about this is if I played this for my wife, although my wife she's a big Kiss fan. She knows about Paul and everything. But if you played this interview for like a non-Kiss fan, like somebody that's not us, not listening to the show, like somebody that's not a real Kiss tard, for lack of a better word, they'd be like, oh yeah, that was an uncomfortable interview. That was kind of weird. But because we know Paul and we follow Paul, we know how he behaves and we know how he acts and his sensitivity, etc. It's just another fascinating piece of history. And it's kind of like that clip that we did not long ago with the argument that Paul and Gene had backstage on the Revenge tour, or even the dynamics of Gene and Ace on the Don Lane show. And this is what we do. We love the band and we love picking apart every little aspect of it down to something like this that you guys may have never even heard of before.
Yeah, that little fucking playfulness when Gene's like, why do you, I don't appreciate that. Why are you doing that to me?
Oh, that was rough.
Keep talking. What do you say?
Remember,
keep
same
going.
Thing. Yep. Keep going. Yep.
Like he kept the same even tone. Like, I'm better than you. I will not go down to your level.
Exactly.
I'm smart and now people like me.
And I'm doggone it. I'm good enough.
Fucking fascinating. See, I'm not sure. I still think there's part of me that Paul comes off great, that he's that quick, that he's smart, quick-witted.
Yeah.
And then this other part of me is like, oh, you don't want to do that to him. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
And they're like, why? What's going to happen? Oh.
That's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And it's just one of those, you don't want to feed the fucking gremlins at night and give them anything. Right?
That's exactly right. That's a great call. Yeah,
like,
no, you're right.
Oh boy, yep. I really did it big this time. But anyway, we hope you like this. We hope you guys discuss it. I hope you watch this and look at the YouTube clip, listen to it, and talk about it and break it down some more. I think it's a fun conversation, and I hope you guys continue with us on social media and talk about it on all of the posts that we put up.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, what we do next is we go to the KISS question of the week.
That's right. And our KISS question of the week is brought to us by our buddy Joe Decker, big fan, who also went to the Fozzy show. He went there last week, and he saw all those bands. He saw GFM and Crash Karma and all those crazy bands. Had an awesome time. So that was perfect timing. He saw them on Friday night, got to listen to our episode last Saturday about our review and everybody, talking with Jericho and Farley. So that was great. But yeah, Joe Decker is with Fusion Tech Data and Electric. And our question of the week is brought to you by Fusion Tech Data and Electric. They are a recognized communications contractor specializing in the construction, splicing, testing, and documentation of all types of fiber optic networks. Along with that, Fusion Tech Electric can service all of your electrical construction needs, commercial, industrial, and utility, as well as electrical substation work and all UPS and DC power plant installation. Fusion Tech currently operates throughout the 5 boroughs of New York City, as well as New Jersey and the tri-state area, providing union labor with IBEW Local 3 in New York City and IBEW Local 164 and Local 102 in New Jersey. For more information about Fusion Tech, visit their website at fusiontech-llc.com or call them at 973-650-1357. And our question of the week comes from the aforementioned friend of the show and new Patreon member, Stevie Flythe. And he submitted his question through the website, which is awesome because you can go right on there and there's a contact form right there. Boom, shoot us a message. So his question is about the Rise to It video. And he says, do you think that Gene and Paul, when they put their makeup on in that video, ever thought about Eric Carr putting his makeup back on in that video? Or was the time period they were supposed to be portraying him before Eric came along? First of all, it's a great question, Stevie. But I hate to disappoint you. Reportedly, Paul and Gene had the makeup on, and they were supposed to be pretending that it was 1975, which obviously was before the Eric Carr era. But I think that would have been interesting because you're right. It was the Rise to It video, obviously off Hot in the Shade with Eric Carr. And it would have been interesting if they did do kind of, the behind the scenes thing of them back in like 80, 81, 82. But no, it was 1975 reportedly. And I believe the video may show that. I'm not sure, but I know that there is some information.
I remember the makeup, the video, people were picking up the fact that the costumes were not that era.
The costumes were not 1975. That's correct.
That you could see that the other two were supposed to be Ace and Peter.
Yes. Yep.
But the other aspect of it, wouldn't it have been interesting to find out that maybe they said to Eric, okay, why don't you and Bruce, you guys can pretend you're Peter and Ace. And maybe Eric said, I'm not putting on the Catman makeup.
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he was asked or if he said, I'm not doing it, or he said, hey, I'll put on the Catman makeup. You never know.
Interesting.
It would have been interesting to see what, or think if he was asked.
Yep. But that's a great question, Stevie. Thank you, buddy. And again, thank you for the Patreon. But that's a good question. You know what? Maybe we'll do a little bit more research on that, and maybe we'll start, eventually picking apart the Kiss videos. That's coming soon, believe me. So yeah. But great question, and thank you, Fusion Tech, for sponsoring the question.
Yeah, Joe Decker.
Yeah, Joe Decker. Yeah, Stevie Flight.
Yeah, Fusion Tech. Don't forget to catch our friend Stevie Flight on the flight. He's got a podcast out there. Make sure you give him some love.
That's right. Yes.
And we'll be doing some country stuff with him. I'll be doing some more country music.
Oh boy, that could be.
I know. That's interesting for you.
It's okay. If you like it, you like it. That's cool. Good for you.
Tom, where can people find us?
Start off at our kick-ass, awesome new website, shoutitoutloudcast.com. You can find everything you need about our show there, all of our episodes, rankings, ARC, Zeppelin, all that stuff. You can comment on the rankings. You can check them out like Stevie did. You can send a submission in there, send a question, an email, anything. Please check it out. Use that. There's all kinds of links there for our Patreon, for our Amazon shop link. If you want some Shout It Out Loudcast merch, of course, who doesn't want an awesome t-shirt or an awesome sticker like our buddy Jeff Kinsley? You can click on the merch link right there on our website. It's a one-stop shopping for all that. There are links to all of our friends, links to Jericho and Adam Mitchell, recent guest, all those guys. You can get it all right there. And of course, our email address is shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. Please email us. We love getting your emails. We try to read all of them during the show, but if we don't read them during the show, I can guarantee you that we read all of them. So please continue to do that. And of course, our social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, tag us, get involved, be part of that family with Kiss and Shout Out Loudcast. You can send us direct messages on all of those too. And again, I did mention our, if you want some Shout It Out Loudcast merch, go through the website and click on that link. And Patreon, you guys are the best, patreon.com or the Patreon app, search for us. And we're also proud to be part of that wonderful Pantheon podcast network of shows. You can go on their website too and find us, along with a ton of other great shows.
You can DM us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We appreciate those. We try to respond to as much as we can. We are not the type that are going to be like, oh, what the fuck?
Never.
Before we started this show, Tom and I had a nice long shit on Twitter. The Twitter personalities out there. Almighty. I think we need to do it as part of our stand-up act that we're going to be doing at Creatures Fest.
And this was just a rant about Twitter. It had nothing to do with podcasting or Kiss or politics. It was just the general life of Twitter.
Maybe it'll be a little secret bonus track at the end of this episode.
Perhaps.
Like a 90s CD.
Perhaps.
You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, which we're at almost near the 600 mark, which we appreciate if you can get us there. It's a big help to us. Our family on YouTube has been growing and a lot of fun. The comments there are always excellent. Mm-hmm. So we appreciate that. And you can give us one of those 5-star child reviews where you tell us about how awesome this show is and how much you love us.
Exactly.
That's always nice. And when we get one of those, we read them. Every once in a while, we get some on our other channel, which is podchaser.com, which is about podcasts and stuff like that. And sometimes people leave us one there. And we got one from Pinworm. 5-star review, the absolute best Kiss podcast. No other Kiss podcast comes close. Thank you, Pinworm.
That is fantastic.
Not to be confused with Pinheads and Patriots.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. That's a great one.
Remember that? This week's Pinhead and Patriot.
We got this Yahoo from downtown Baltimore. Well, geez, settle down, Bill.
From Baltimore. Said, why can't we give away free money to everybody? That'd be great. Well, we can't. And Stephanie with the hot fucking pants and nice legs from Boise, Idaho says, Bill, I love your voice. She's a patriot.
Back of the book segment.
In the back of the book segment, Pinheads and Patriots. Come on, Deucey.
Those were the good old days of cable news.
He used to play those games with him, and he'd always have him against like some hot chick.
Oh,
like,
always.
Like
Lori Dew.
Yeah. Yeah. Until he sexually harassed her to the point where she fucking never was on TV ever again.
Do you remember that friggin' chick she had? She looked like a total friggin' porn star. Blonde chick, glasses. She was the body language expert.
Oh, yes.
Remember her? Remember her?
He's like, tell me more. What she really means.
Tell me. Now, when she shifted to the right, what did that mean?
Fucking horny old man.
Oh,
anyway.
And the poor guy cannot tweet because all he does, within 4 or 5 comments, it's like, yeah, how's that lawsuit doing, Bill?
Yeah, I've got 32 million reasons why you're wrong. He just got busted again. Did you see that today?
No.
On Twitter. They have him screaming at some fucking poor person at JetBlue and everything on the, hey, that $32 million lawsuit must make you fly JetBlue now. Huh? How does it feel? Apparently he was at the counters like, do you know who I am? Fucking pointing his finger like, I'll get you fired. What the fuck?
We'll do it live.
It's one of those. You're fucking in trouble. I'm going to fucking get for your job. And the poor guy's like, dude, I don't even speak English. I can't understand a word you're saying.
Pinheads and Patriots.
I just worked the concession back there. I don't know why your plane is delayed. Fucking leave me alone. I'll have your job. Okay.
Bill O'Reilly. Oh God.
I think our podcasting studio is bigger than his these days.
I think you're right.
He's back on steering the car back into the lane, Tom. Again, those 5-star child reviews are always appreciated. I always like to repeat the email. Shout it out loudcast at gmail.com. Shout it out loudcast at gmail.com. Send us any of your email comments, thoughts, and anything else you'd like to. And don't forget our wonderful new muffin ass podcast website, shoutitoutloudcast.com. Shoutitoutloudcast.com. And Tom, what we usually do is end with famous last words. You got any for us?
Of course I do.
Well, of course I do.
When you feel so hot that you can't hold still and you don't know how you're going to get your fill, send an SOS, baby. I'm your man. If I don't make good honey, no one can.
Ooh. Well, this is a Tom favorite right here.
Uh-oh.
Sometimes when the days get rough, don't want to quit because it's much too tough. I'll be around when the others are counting you out. When you need me.
So bad.
Love that song.
Fucking brutal.
And I love the Tommy actually outro.
Oof.
Oh,
yuck.
Fucking great.
Yuck.
Oh, fucking great.
Oh.
Kiss Army. Loudcasters. Tom. Radio Chick. Carmine. Over here. Love you guys. Thank you very much.
You guys are the best. Everybody out there, love you guys. I want to hear what you guys think of this episode. If you heard about this interview before, Radio Chick, Sociopath Stanley, you guys are the best. And Zeus, as always, thank you.
And the funny thing is, we actually like all the people involved in this.
I'm not insulting Paul Stanley. I'm just giving him a diagnosis.
We love fucking Carmine and we love fucking Paul.
Yep.
Maybe we need to be diagnosed.
Oh, we do. Oh, definitely we do. Yeah. But I can't do that. You can't self-diagnose. It's inappropriate.
The fact that we find the Mr. Feces story fucking life-altering and that in and of itself should label us crazy. Well, anyways, peace out, Girl Scout. So Tom and I, we were talking about Twitter before we went on live. and we were talking about the Twitter personalities out there, the kind that go like, for instance, hey, I'm a Democrat and I want to see Joe Biden win. Who else wants to see him win?
Oh, raise hand emoji. Raise hand emoji. Or like, you know, or you'll have somebody, you could tell it's like some bot account. It's like some hot chick and the Twitter handle is like, you know, Titty Girl 101 or something. How many of you have had a broken heart? Oh, me. I have.
Oh, I'll be your boyfriend. I'll
please.
Well,
the other one.
Send a prayer for me. My son just committed suicide this morning. But I had the fucking internet, you fucking psychopath.
But I had a tweet about it first. Or I like the other one. The other one that we love. Someone told me I look old. What do you guys think? Oh, no, you're beautiful. Oh, you're so pretty. That guy's crazy for saying that.
You don't look any older than 65. I'm 42. Dude, there's all that shit. Oh, tell me fucking if you want to see people be treated with respect, like below. Oh, fuck. Oh,
that's going to change the world. Hit that like button. Oh.
Marjorie Taylor Greene shouldn't be in Congress. Raise your hand if you agree with me. Oh,
I do. Oh,
Joe Biden's not qualified to be president. If you want to see Donald Trump come back, like this post. Oh, fuck.
Or I like this other one. You get a picture of this chick. Happy birthday to me. This is 50. Oh, happy birthday. You look beautiful. Oh, wonderful to you.
Oh, I've got a lot of going on right now. I just need send a prayer to me. Oh, fucking here it comes. Oh, fuck. Dude.
It's hilarious.
Call a friend.
Yeah, really.
You need attention. Call a friend if you really need to talk to somebody.
Yeah. Do you guys watch movies with the lights on or off? Click below and tell me what you do. Oh, will you watch a movie with me if I answer? Do you think that pineapple should be on pizza?
Oh, clickbaiting motherfuckers. Or the other ones. Ooh, I'm going to put an emoji of eyes. Ooh, what do I mean? Yeah. I'm so cryptic. Ooh. Yeah.
If you stand for Ukraine, put the flag in your profile. Stand for Ukraine.
Oh, sometimes life can be real tough. Oh, what's wrong? What can I do? Are you okay?
Just listen to some music. It'll make you feel better. Raise your hand if you like music.
Raise your hand if you like indoor plumbing. Oh, fuck. Oh, we could do this all day.
Seriously.
All fucking day.
How many Twitter character profiles we just ran through? Like 20 of. There's about 100 more.
Next time any of you guys fucking see something like that, retweet and put SIOL or something.
Honestly, yeah, just put that because it's out there.
Oh my God! All the fucking please look at me, give me attention.
Oh, unbelievable. What's your favorite band to make love to with the music in the background? Tell me below. Oh, why? Oh, jeez. Fucking yeah, please. This is going to be the new thing now. Now people are going to be like, oh.
No! You're going to see us do the fucking jerk it off face.
Oh! Oh, you're beautiful on the inside. Yeah, you weigh 400 pounds on the outside, though. Oh, boy.
I need a hug today. Oh, here you go. Oh!
Sending you a hug from across the miles.
Oh.